Welcome to our English speaking channel. So today's video we brought again our special guest because you did ask it a lot. And for those who haven't saw yet our latest video, I'd love to let her the opportunity to introduce herself again once more, at least for those who are new. So hello Taina, I already know
Hello.
you, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people that will be watching us here that have no idea who are you. Could you give
Mhm.
me a short briefly about yourself? Yourself.
Of course I can. Hello guys, my name is Taina. I'm a teacher, English teacher, but I'm a yoga teacher too, history teacher too. Oh, I'm crazy. I do a lot of things in the same time. With you today, talking about many topics that our dear Alex brought to us. I'm so happy for be here, and I hope can help you in some way.
Absolutely. That will definitely be so much helpful, especially for the people or for the kind of viewers that have been following us here. Then I'd love to move on to the very first topic here. So, the beginning, which is the hardest part to everyone in their English journey. I think so because it was with my case, it was in my case. I really thought much. I more thought that than before. When I was at the beginning of my English journey, I start like thinking, rethinking. I start postponing the beginning of my journey, but here we are. Luckily, of course, but I'm sure that the beginning is the hardest process for everyone who is trying to learn that language. Then, the first question I'd like to bring it up here, I think that would be awesome, is what motivated you to start learning English, Taina, as an English teacher, as a teacher for many other subjects as well? So, what motivates you in order to become or to add it English as a subject to teach others?
Well, I have many stages of my life. I think you guys should. Since nowadays we have more contact with English than before. But I was a child that grew up with English since I was 6 years old. I love international music. I always love English since I was younger, but there was a problem in that time. I didn't like my teacher, and she didn't like me for sure. So I started to hate English, I not because I didn't understand, but the teacher that I was in that time made me think that English is impossible for me. And so I think I can put this now that I start to learning English for people like me. The people that had problem like me because I couldn't focus well in classes. In the same time, I like logic things. Okay, in English there is expression, and we can learning literally the things. But in the beginning, it's important you learning from the literally thing. And in my case, I needed to understand. To me to learn, I need to understand. So I made a path for myself. When I did wizard, for example, I understand the English. Okay, there was some teachers that didn't know how to explain some parts that motivated me more to understand the English and to do a path for my student in the future.
Perfect.
And yeah, and I had a lot of these things about judgment. I think that thing that take me out from my way a lot, because I judge myself a lot in the past and now, but I'm trying to learning this and teach my student not to judge a lot themselves.
Absolutely agree. 100%. And I got your point. Then I think that you already answered the second question I was about to ask you is what was the biggest difficult you faced at the beginning? You mentioned that once you were at a very famous private school, English school in Brazil, you name it here. If you can feel free if you'd like to bring up the name again. But you mentioned as also that at the very beginning, at the maybe the high school time, also at the middle school time or high school time, you got a few kind of teachers that at the time wasn't that good in terms of explaining the details or maybe to bring it up how to make English interesting. So how did you overcome, besides that mistakes that the things that we faced here at the beginning, like the boring classes, or maybe the boring contents in English that makes English because boring. So what else would you say that was your biggest difficult that you faced at the beginning of your
Others,
English?
maybe
Will
too.
be
Oh, there are a lot of one. I think like in the beginning, because the teacher, she didn't know from the school, she didn't know exactly English. I think the most of the student, not judging guys, I'm just saying that the part of my experience, maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of teachers from school, they didn't learn English, because I am 28 years old, so maybe the things start to change. But the teachers that I learned it when I was younger, yeah, they didn't know English. They just made the college and then they were in the school. That's all. Yeah, and so they didn't teach for because they want or because they know. They are just doing rules and just it. Oh, is this? But why? Because it's this. No, there is a reason. And I want to know the reason. And in that time, I didn't understand. So when I grow up, I did many courses. I did many. Kumon. There was another that I forgot the name. Fisk
uh,
didn't work. A lot of rules, and I didn't catch at all. And the last one, the wizard that worked. I love the way they teach, but there are some things that didn't make sense that I'm putting my classes nowadays. That I explain and the easy way. I think the big deal for me was interligating the logic with dynamic, because I think we can learn English in dynamic way, in a funny way, not by the heart. Just memorizing that, and oh, you need to memorize. No, you need to understand, and when you understand, it's like you drive a car or um
ride a bicycle.
ride a bicycle. When you understand, it's natural for you. So I think it is the same about the language in general. Actually, I'm thinking to learning. I was talking with a student. In the middle of the year, we will
what?
start to learning Chinese together. So that is one of my goal for this year.
Wow, that is a huge challenge. So there are a lot of challenges ahead. I'm sure about that.
Yes.
And luckily for you, I've made a lot of friends from China, and even I got a new friend. She's a a government worker, and she works in trade deal, international trade deal for the government of China. So she came to Brazil. She was here like 2 months ago. She came to Brasilia and to São Paulo. She was making a few deal business with the Brazilian government as well. So she's a very higher Chinese professional government. So I have been made a lot of friendship with her. She's a very good friend. And maybe we do have a lot of things in common. But anyway, I will let that for another video.
Thank
Let's move
you.
on to the next topic. I totally
Okay.
got your points, and I think it depends of each kind of person, of course. But there are a lot of ways that were already proven to work. So it depends. Each
Yes.
person find out, and sometimes they
Of
are not able
course.
to find out by themselves. They need someone to guide them, and that's
It's
where
true.
we join at the scene. Okay, learning process now. Tell me about the second topic. What specific habits or method helped you improve the most, in your opinion?
I think the big problem about the student that starts to learning alone is they want to learning everything at the same time. So what helped me was organized. I think organizing our time, organizing what you study. For example, for example, I had some words that I have difficult. For example, I don't know, realize, improve. So I usually do, depends on the person. I always teach my students to do that. You take 5 or 10 words that are you with problem. And first you try and you want one time. For example, oh, I have difficult with the past. So let's doing three phrases, affirmative, negative, and questions with the past using these words that you have difficult. So you training three times this word in this context. And first, you learning to write. You write the phrases that are you have difficult, and after that, you try to make it a sentence in your head. I think it's very important because when you talk with someone, you can't write. And it's the same about listening. I had a lot of listening. To be honest, I forgot to say that. I think most difficult I have when I was learning English was listening. We say in Portuguese, veia da praça. So I was like this, a old man in the square.
Wow.
Because I have difficult to understand. So that was the most difficult for me. So what I do, I hear, I heard a lot of time too. So I think it is a process. But the main thing is to organize your time, your studies with short, no, sorry, a few words. And second, I think it's very important you don't give up
Absolutely.
because and repeat. Don't give up and don't repeat and repeat always because your brain needs to understand that's important. So I think a habit is you have organizing and repeat and never give up. I think it's important.
What a lovely answer. I totally agree. I mean, look, guys, we are different persons from different part of our country, the same country, of course, but different parts. And take a look how we have been agreeing each other here. We agreed on a few aspects that English is a process, and everyone will figure out or find out their own way, their only ways or their own ways to learn or to advance or to try moving forward in the English journey. But all of those methods works. You just needed to think about it, the specific method that you worked better in your case. And the second question, I think is there's some correlations on it. So looking back now, as you brought up that you are listening, where the listening skills were the hardest part for you in your case. So tell me, looking back, what would you do differently in your English journey if you had a chance to look back and to get back or back to the past? What would you do different if there's something?
Question more. Like I said to you, I was afraid to be judged, and I was afraid to do a mistake. And it's okay you do a mistake because you need to learn, And to learn, you need it to be wrong, and it's okay. And it's okay you be wrong. And I think we live in a society nowadays that we don't allow to do something wrong, and it's okay, really okay. We are learning. We didn't born talking Portuguese. We learn
Without a doubt.
step by step. Yes. Yeah.
Without a doubt, without a doubt, no questions about that. I think people need to understand that English is a process and you don't learn overnight. It take a few time. It depends on each person, of course. There are many people I already mentioned, talk or spoke with. They told you that they learn in a year, within a year. But also there are a lot of people like my case. Take a look my own case. I have been studying for the latest 7 years and I'm still developing. I'm still learning. There are a lot of things I'm
Yes.
struggling with, but I'm sure that there are a lot of things that you can apply, especially with the technology. Nowadays, we do have that amazing friend with
It's true.
technology. So, next one, moving to the topic number three, mindset and confidence. That's the topic we're going to talk about. How did you deal with fear of insecurity when speaking English? I think you mentioned that, but could you rephrase and could you highlight the topics here about this?
Well, guys, I don't have a formal, but okay, I am afraid to be judged, and I hate to start something I don't have the dominance about. I know that. I know. But you need to face. I think the thing that helped me, I started. learning English since I was younger, but I really, really learned it when I starting 18. You know, this time I started to study for real. And in 19, I think in almost 20, in my 20s, I entry in a company that receive a lot of people from another countries. And the first person that I talk English, it was a Chinese person. Was so difficult because the accent is very different. So I was afraid. I didn't sleep in that time. I remember that I have to talk with her all week. And I think it was a good way to face my fear. I think you need to see for real. There is something that my mom, when I was younger, I have I forgot this in English, but oh my god, I forgot. It's a síndrome do pânico. I forgot this word is in English. But the thing is that I couldn't sleep well. And I always feel afraid about the things. And then my mother said to me, "Where are you afraid?" "Oh, I am afraid something is behind the, I don't know, behind the door. Let's let's up and see." So she opened the door. There is nothing here. So I think the best way to face your fear is to see and say, "Okay, I'm wrong, and it's okay. Nothing will happen with you." You know, the worst they say, "Oh, I didn't understand. Can you repeat?" Just it, guys. I think
Exactly.
we created the fear
There,
in
like
us.
I heard that when I was a younger, like a teenager. I was at my early 15 years old. I'm not, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember I met a guy that came from the United States. He builds like a maintenance store car or a car garage here in Brazil, and he mentioned that he was a mechanic in the United States. That he worked there for many years, and he came to me, and I start asking a few things. At the time, I had no idea that where I would be. Ended up like here talking and speaking English with you, but I asked her a few questions. How did you learn? And it wasn't that hard. Like you were Brazilian, living in a country where you don't know their language. How did you figure out how to get communication to, to transmit your ideas or to change your ideas? And he said, I learned the two first important. But the first one, I think that the most important phrase that you must memorize when you don't know the language is say, first, how did you say that? What is that? Or how did you say that? Come again, please. Come again, please. And so on. So once you remember that those phrases, if you do not understand something, if you were not understand, ask it again. So come again, please. Okay, can you explain that? So you just needed to learn a few, triggers that will help you out to keep the conversation, or at least to understand better. I loved that advice. So, and again, our way to motivate you guys and maybe who are watching our videos are only to, you know, make you sure that there's nothing wrong with fear of speaking. There's nothing wrong with fear of learning a new language, but it start getting or start there like creating some negative effects once you do not let or once you let that fear overcome your
It's
abilities,
true.
your speaking skills. So there's like a balance, should be a balance under that. And the second part, what advice? Now is the very important one here because each like at the last question of
Oh,
each
that's
talk
a
we'll
very
bring it
good.
up here, a very important opportunity for you to explain. So now we call, let's jump for the number 5 right away because I think that's going to be very important. Its
Okay.
questions is, what is the one habit every English learner should start today?
Today, like I said before, organizing. You need to put a mindset about your time. I don't have time. You have time. You have. I know you have. But are you watching a show or soccer?
Yes,
I
that's
know you
true.
have time. You don't need it's like, wow, I need to get 1 hour, 2 hours a day. No, take it 10 minutes. 10 minutes, yes, is enough. For example, I had the I had the old man. I gave classes for many ages, started for 6 years old until 80s. 80s old. He's a
Wow.
very old man, but he was the better one of my students. Do you know how? He has a two, I always say to my students, took two notebooks, one for your personal dictionary and the other for practice the phrases, you know? So, what do you have to do? The phrases that you review, for example, today I want to review my phrases. So, you read in loud voice. Na, 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 na. Read. This is the first thing. Second, your dictionary. You take this personal dictionary and then you read and try to make some phrases in your head. That's enough. But of course, it's necessary take at least one day in the week to take 1 hour to practice something writing or something you have more problem to learn, okay? Or a video you like to watch. But I think you need to organizing. I think is the mailing thing, in my opinion.
Great point. Let me see if I got it right. So you mentioned that create a kind of discipline or build a discipline around your targets. For instance, no matter what, but here, of course, our channel, our main topic of it, the main topic of our channel is kind of English, of course, learning process, and so many other things that keep us people motivated and integrated with the language. But it can be applied to everything in our life. If you'd like to become a doctor, if you'd like to become a mechanic, if you'd like to become a flight pilot, you need to be disciplined. And the thing that
True.
Taina just brought, if I'm not mistaken, feel free, is first, put things right down. I mean, write things that you are planning to achieve, because doing that, our brain will keep focusing and paying attention on it. And you will be reminded each time you catch up your maybe your notebook or, as you said, your dictionary right away. So then you will be reminded by your things, by your own read, your own handwritten. There will be and you think, oh, I did that yesterday. So, but the moment I wrote those things, I was so motivated. And what happened? So let's keep it up. So let's keep it with that and moving forward. Yeah, guys, there are a lot of challenges. We won't lie to you guys. We won't
Yes.
lie you. I mean, again,
You're not learning 6 month English,
no,
okay? I'm
stop with
learning
that.
since now, and I am teaching English for 8 years. And did you see in the video? I forgot the syndrome do pouco, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm a teacher, I need to know everything. It's okay. After this interview, I will look for and I remember myself. I remind myself. So it's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
And we did learn together, guys. Just for you know, I just while she was just talking and explaining, I did a research and I saw panic disorder. Panic disorder
Panic
is,
disorder.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I got it here. So anyway, that's the way we learn. So guess what? I just learned with Taina a new word because I didn't know this English word before. I know in Portuguese, but I hadn't searched that in English. And why, Alex? How could you don't know the right answers? I mean, guys, there's a thing that people get. It's kind of a misleaded information.
It's
It's
true.
the people that came say, "Oh, speak English like a native. You should know about everything." And so, that is not how things work. I will only know the things I'm studying, the things I'm reading, the topic that I'm moving
Exactly.
forward or moving back or and say seeking for. And that's
The
the
same
thing.
in
That
Portuguese. The same
exactly.
Portuguese. You don't know medical words, for
Yeah,
example.
medical
I really don't
surgery
know.
procedures. I have no idea how to explain.
History teachers. I'm a history teacher, and
Absolutely.
wow, I have to learn the terms. I didn't know that. So it's you needed to think it. Even us is not
We are not
fluence
the
in
best.
everything.
Yeah.
For example, I was seeing a video. I need to be quickly because I have a class, but just quickly, just a point that I want to finish. Brazilian. You go to Northeast. I was sawing a video and they was eating pastry, a fried mess. Pasta. Sorry, a fried pasta, and they said periquitinho. And I was like, what is periquitinho? Because Brazilian, we have a chicken. And I thought it's chicken. No, it's not. So it's a new flavor of pastry. So, even us, we don't know. So, how come?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And it's kind of interesting how we find out things that we didn't know before. But I mean, guys, just pay attention on the topics that you think will be very important for you, that will make sense to you all. And I hope you love it. You like it, that short conversation that Tainan and I had here. So I think we made a lot of progress trying to give you a lot of insights that can somehow could be useful and can be applied to your daily studies. And the things I love that I now mentioned was first, you don't need it to spend an hour a day at the beginning. You can just set up like 15 minutes. I told that to my students as well. And I keep saying I will continue with that point of view because I think that English is a habit. So we needed to build a habit. How can you build a habit? It's like each step at a time. So guys, that's it. I hope you loved it, our chat today or tonight. And one of the things I'd like just to bring it up here, Taina maybe didn't know yet, but I think so, but I'm not sure. I just launched my own English website, and there, if you were seeking for some English books to learn, even from A1 to B2 levels of English readers, I think you will find out a lot of, you figure out there are a lot of books that you can purchase there and start reading and apply to your daily studies as well. And for those who are just very basic English learners, there are also my own English course online there. You can book it and start studying English now. That's the point. There's no time to miss or
Wait.
to lose. Yeah, to waste. Exactly. So, Tana, that was all for tonight. I really appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
I'm keeping follow you on your social medias. I'm seeing that you are doing a great job. And guys, if you'd like to have English classes with Taina, please just let us know here in the comments below because me and her, we're gonna be trying to like answer and comment below here in your comments again, and
Please,
maybe we can
guys.
reach each other there. That was all. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night and hope see you in your next English
Thank
meeting with Alex.